Hello and welcome back to your 15th intermediate Java tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most important concepts in computer science, and that would be the stack. So let's go ahead, let's make the project real quick. We're going to call it tutorial 15 stack. Alright. So package com.shsbd.tut15. Alright, and we're going to actually have two examples because this stack concept is kind of interesting. So, main one. I'm going to write to you this little thingy that I wrote on the GitHub thing. So, the stack is probably one of the most important data structures in all computer science. Think of a stack like a stack of lunch trays. The last tray that gets placed is the first one to be used and taken off the stack. When an object is placed onto a stack, using the stack would result, or the using the object from the stack would result in the last thing being used, being taken out of the stack completely. The second example will be where I show you why it's very important. But for this one, I will show you the list type stack. So there is an actual list type of stack that's like a, like an array list or whatever. So it's just stack. You have to import that from Java util. And it uses generic type, so let's just make a stack of integer and see what happens. Stack equals new stack. And you can put integer in there. I'm not going to. You can just leave it blank. So how do you add something to the stack? So first, let's just sys out the stack. Alright? ToString, it just puts everything in curly brackets. Or in square brackets. So let's do stack. So you don't do stack.add, or you can, but you don't want to do that. The actual word for it is stack.push. Put something on the top of the stack. So let's push 42. See? Now it's on there. Stack.push. Let's add 54. And everything we add to it will be added to the end of the stack. Okay? So now let's access a number in the stack. So we can only access at a time the last thing that was put in the stack. So stack.pop, okay, will give us 54. Now, what's different between a stack and like an array list is that when you use this .pop method, not only does it return that number, but it also removes that number from the stack. So let's see that. Let's print out the stack again after we pop something. See, and now 54 is gone from the stack. It was taken off of the stack of lunch trays. So this is how you use something, and now the stack is smaller. So push means that you're pushing something onto it. Pop means that it's popping right off of it. Alright, so that's how the stack works, the stack list type in Java works. But let's look at another kind of way of thinking of stacks. So let's go into make a new class, call it main2, make public static void in it. Okay, so a stack is more than just, I'm going to read off of the example. A stack is more than just a list type. The stack is basically how all programs are created. A program starts with a main method, and a bunch of methods are called, and methods are called in those methods. Those methods act like a stack. The most recently called method would be the first to return its value, or nothing in terms of a void. The first method is the last one to return its value. So this kind of sounds like it would be kind of obvious, but it is something you need to be aware of. So sys out. Alright, so we're going to do main is starting. Alright, and then at the end of main, we're going to do main is returning, because this is where the return statement would be if it weren't a void. Alright, and then we're going to make three methods. So private static void method 1. Okay? And we're just going to do the same thing, kind of, and just do, in here, just do method 1, and then we do method 2, and then here we call method 1 Okay? So let's copy this here, or no, main method 1. So here, let's just copy this, and let's just do 2, and then 3. Okay, and then we just do method 2 here, and then method 3 here, and then we get rid of this blank line right there. Okay, so now let's look at it. So the way we're going to see it is like a stack. We have this method 1 is starting, method main is starting, method 1 is starting, method 2 is starting, and method 3 is starting. So the last thing that started is going to be the first thing that returns. So now method 3 is returning, method 2 is returning, method 1 is returning, and then main is returning. See how that stack kind of works? And that's what's important. And stacks are very important. Like, if you wanted a real world example, my dad is in charge of hiring people for the company he works for in terms of the computers. He's the director of software development or whatever. And part of the requirements, he doesn't ask you what colleges you went to. He actually gives them a test, and he gives you a test where he just asks you a bunch of questions, but he also gives you like a little assignment, and that assignment is to write a class in C# is the language that they use. Write a class in C# that would be a stack type, one of these. Because this concept is so important in computer science, you just cannot have a job without understanding what a stack is. Because you need to understand this. And that's just how it is, There's also the opposite of a stack would be a queue. A queue is the last thing, the first thing that was put in is the first thing that starts coming out. Think of a line at a convention or whatever. They actually call those a queue in some places, because if you're the first one there, you're the first one to get your seat. I might do a video on queues. I'm a little iffy on how they work on Java. I don't know if there's a queue type. But hey, whatever, I am super rambling right now. So again, as I said in the last video, if you have any suggestions of something you want to learn in terms of libgdx or game development, please leave them down below. I'm super open to suggestions. I'm not going to be making a full game tutorial until next semester when I make the next demo for ClubRush. If you do want a full game tutorial, just leave, a game that would be, pretty much easy for me to make, in a short amount of time, and then I can make a video series on that game. I'm also open to doing that if you would like. So, yes. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye bye.